Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube video. This is a new segment called Soap Opera. So basically on this segment, I'm gonna talk about either a TV show or a movie or, just entertainment stuff. And I'm gonna tell you what I loved or hated about it and the reasons why, and if I recommend it to other people or not. Oh, by the way, yeah, this is gonna have spoilers, obviously. The first show that I wanted to talk about to really start this series is Heartstopper. Heartstopper is a show on Netflix about this 15-year-old named Charlie, and he meets this guy who's a jock and he plays rugby, and everyone thinks that he's straight, but maybe he's not, question mark. Charlie is openly gay, even though it was not his decision to come out. He was outed, and everyone in school knows that he is gay, and he was severely bullied for being gay. That's basically the story of the show. So Charlie meets Nick on episode 1, and he just looks at him, and I've rewatched the show many times, and one of the things that I love about it is that every time that I watch it, I notice some new detail about the show. I notice something else in there, it's really good. Like right at the beginning of the show, he's just so sad the whole time, and the moment that he sees Nick, he smiles, and there's more light around Nick, and there's like a rainbow going through, and it's very beautiful. And you can see that the mood completely changed when Charlie saw Nick for the first time. My take on that is that Charlie just fell for him almost immediately, He just saw him and he was like, damn. Nick, however, didn't really feel like that, really, but I think I've seen on Twitter, Charlie fell first, but Nick fell harder. And I agree, honestly, I do. So then they start talking to each other and they start hanging out and they become friends. And Nick's friends are not the best. They're really not great, most of them are also rugby players, and they are childhood friends, and they have been friends for so long. And as the show goes on, Nick realizes that, well, shit, my friends suck, huh? Because Nick's friends don't treat Charlie the way that a person should be treated. They're very mean to him, and there's this guy that is an actual bully, and all of the other rugby dudes just stand there behind the bully, and they don't really say or do anything. So yeah, Nick gets pretty upset about that. He's tired that Charlie is being bullied, and Charlie is I would say he is pretty depressed, because every time that Nick tries to talk to him about this and being very serious and saying that this shouldn't be happening, we need to stop, make this stop, Charlie just replies with, it's fine, I'm used to it. And that's not okay. You should not get used to bullying. And that's what Nick tells him. So yeah, Nick comes to the conclusion that his friends suck. When they start hanging out and when they become friends, Charlie tells his friends that he likes Nick, he has a crush on Nick. They're texting all the time, they're talking all the time. After Charlie told his friends that he had a crush on Nick, he decided to send a text to Nick saying oh, thanks for being my supportive straight friend. And Nick replied with, lol, no problem, or something like that. And Charlie was just like, fuck, he's straight. Here's the thing, I also read the books. In the books, Nick never said that he is straight. I mean, technically, he never said it in the show either, but I understand why they did it on the show, and it makes sense, because I think that the whole purpose of this story was really to show people that even though that someone looks straight, that doesn't mean that they are straight. I think that's something really interesting about this show, is that you have moments of bullying and things like that, and that's a very serious situation, and it's always something very sad, but they were able to keep the show wholesome throughout, even with these bad moments, even when bad things are happening. I loved 98% of the show, but there are just a few things that I didn't love as much. So it's very obvious that Charlie likes Nick right at the beginning, but you're not so sure if Nick likes Charlie back, even though, as someone who's not in Charlie's position, you can tell that he obviously likes him back. But if I was Charlie, I wouldn't be sure either, so I can't judge him. And also, they are teenagers. I think this is his first, like, real possible relationship. Because he was with this other dude before, Ben, and Ben didn't like him. Ben didn't want to be his boyfriend. Ben didn't want to make it official. Ben didn't want anyone to know, and he would just pretend that he didn't even know Charlie at all. They would sneak into some rooms where when no one was around. They were never together in public, and Ben would really just pretend that Charlie didn't exist and that he wasn't a part of his life. And that was really sad to see. Because of that, Charlie ended up feeling like he would never be able to have a real relationship or have like real love. So it's really great when he starts hanging out with Nick, and Nick is not pretending that he doesn't know him. Nick spends all of his time with Charlie. He doesn't pretend doesn't know him at school. They are together all the time. They hug each other. They hang out. All of Nick's friends know who Charlie is. They all know that Nick knows Charlie, and they all know that he's his friend now. Everyone knows that Charlie is a part of Nick's life. That really changes Charlie's perspective, I think. Charlie is not used to having someone that really acknowledges him in a romantic way. So then on episode 3, basically Nick invites Charlie to go to Harry's party. Harry is the bully. He is one of the people that is really treating Charlie very, very poorly because he is gay. That's the only reason. Charlie's gay and Harry is homophobic. That's basically it. Nick was invited to go to Harry's birthday party, and he really wants Charlie to come, so Charlie agreed to go. In the meantime, Charlie's friend Tao is getting upset because they usually had movie nights, and Charlie ditched them on movie night to go to this party. And Tao is kind of upset, which is understandable, but their friend Elle is telling him that, you know, he just wants to go to the party to be with Nick. It's fine, don't worry about it. Like, we can just hang out and watch movies some other time. But Tao is upset over this. Like, I think that that movie night really means a lot to him, which, so, you know, it's understandable that he got upset over that. And every time that they get upset over something, or it seems like they're overreacting, I think it's accurate, because when you're a teenager, every tiny little thing that goes wrong is like the end of the world for you. So I think it's very accurate. I understand why Tao is upset about this. Charlie goes to the party, and they're at the party. Harry is really not nice, so Charlie goes away. Oh yeah, they're trying to set him up with this girl, Tara, who we know is a lesbian, but they don't know that she's a lesbian on the show, and she has a girlfriend. So they're trying to set Nick up with Tara, and Tara tells Nick that she's a lesbian, and he's like, oh, that's good. She's like, oh, that's my girlfriend, and he's like, all right, that's great. And then she says that she's ready to come out as a couple. She's ready to come out because she was in the closet, but she just really wanted to let people know that she's a lesbian and she's in a relationship with Darcy. So then he goes and looks for Charlie, and they end up kissing. Charlie had some balls in that scene, I'll tell you that. So, you don't have a crush on Tara? No. Oh, so you don't like anyone right now? I didn't say that. What's she like then? Why are you assuming they're a she? Are they not a girl? Would you date someone who isn't a girl? I don't know. Would you date someone who isn't a girl? I don't know. Would you kiss me? Yes. So then they kiss. Then Harry is calling Nick's name, so Nick just runs off, and Charlie thinks that it's all over. He ruined their friendship, and Nick was one of his best friends. Even if he didn't like him back, their friendship was very important to him, so he thought he ruined everything. But the next episode, Nick goes to his house, and he's like, girl, don't worry about it. I like you too, bestie. I'm just having a gay crisis, don't worry about it. But yeah, so they kiss again, and basically their entire relationship starts. But Nick asks him if he minds that they can hide their relationship at school, because he's not ready to come out as anything. Which, you know, it's understandable. And Charlie is very accepting of Nick not being ready to come out yet. throughout the entire show, which I think it's very, very important. You shouldn't come out when you're not ready, and you shouldn't judge someone else because they are not ready to come out yet, you know? And I think that's a very important message from the show as well. And yeah, basically then they ended up dating and things are going great. They're very happy until Charlie starts feeling like he's a burden in everyone's lives. And he thinks that he is ruining Nick's life because he's losing his friends. But that was Nick's decision. Nick decided to pull himself away from his friends because he didn't like who his friends were anymore. He didn't identify with them or their ideals. So he decided to just push his friends away. But Charlie thought that it was his fault. So he decided to break up with Nick until that didn't happen because Tao was fighting with Harry, the bully. So Charlie didn't actually break up with Nick and everything ended up okay in that last, well, that wasn't the last episode. It was almost the last episode where they have the school sports day. Basically, Tao got mad at Charlie, but Tao and Charlie make up in that episode, and then Charlie and Nick make up in that episode as well. Nick surprises Charlie and takes him to the beach, and then they officially become boyfriends, which is just great. Honestly, I love the entire show. There was just this one thing that I really didn't like about it. It's when Tao turns to Charlie after fighting Harry, and he's mad because Charlie didn't tell him about him and Nick dating, which it's understandable why he was upset about that. They're best friends and he didn't tell him. It's understandable why he's mad. But what I'm mad about is that Tao turned to Charlie and said, "This is all your fault." And after reading the books, I realized that Tao would actually never say that to Charlie. He really appreciates their friendship, and I just don't think that he would say that. Either way, I understand why it's in the show. I understand why it's there. You need a little bit of drama for a TV show. But other than that, I really love this show. I think it's great. I think it's a 10 out of 10, and I truly recommend it to you guys. So yeah, this is my take on Heartstopper, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye! When these... I can't believe this was documented. Oh my god. This is just... my god, this is amazing. I forgot where I was. I need to pause and rewind and see what the fuck I was talking about. Because I don't know what I was thinking anymore if this was really funny. I can't believe this is documented.